Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first webinar Wednesday for December 2020, and we're still here, Alistair.
We're still here. I'm still in my sauna.
Yeah, you are, but today you dressed slightly differently. You have a different feel about you in your...
I have a different feel about me. Yes, this is it's quite a strange one. I got this top in Barcelona quite a while ago. You're actually been to Barcelona with on family business, haven't you? Recently? Well, not recently, but recently. No?
I have been to Barcelona, but not for a long. Doesn't feel like for a long time.
It doesn't feel like it for a long time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, anyway, welcome everyone.
Yes.
And this is our webinar Wednesday, month number whatever. What, 9? Do you think? Could be.
I don't know.
Do you want to tell us about today's guest at 11:15, Alistair?
Yeah, so this guest this week we've got Jay Moir, who's he's the first person in Britain who's got cerebral palsy, who's also a gym instructor, and he's been involved with a few other bits and bobs in Aberdeen. So it's going to be good to hear a little bit more about Jay and his story and what's making sense for him in the world at the moment. I caught up with him at the gym and bits and bobs, and we've got a hello from June. So remember, everybody, anything that you've got that you want to share and talk about, please send in some comments, questions, all that stuff. So we've had the new tiers, and they're the same as the old tiers. What are you thinking about
that? I can't really imagine things changing in the immediate future. Can you?
No.
We'll see what the next week and a half brings, and I'm still all uncertain about what's going to happen over the next few weeks. I think most people I know are trying to keep things, dampen down any expectations really out in the immediate future. But there is, I don't know, last week we probably said there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, didn't we, with vaccines, and every day there's more things happening with the vaccines. So as long as you believe in vaccines, and I do, then I'm surprised how many people. I'm very surprised by the number of people who I speak to who are quite wary of it.
Yes, it's an interesting thing altogether, isn't it? That kind of that the information that's out there. There's more info than ever with the web and everything, but there seems to be so much stuff that's a bit propaganda that's easily disproved, but it just causes fear in people. And that in politics, you see that in lots of areas, and there seems to be almost an anti-science thing, like it's all it's all out to get us. And I agree. I don't really think that at all. I think about the state of the world would be in if we didn't have vaccines in when folk. Anyway,
absolutely. So anyway, we'll see how the next few months goes, but it does feel to me all the time that we can begin. I'm actually beginning to think I can maybe think about planning different things, more ordinary things again. Not yet, and not even yet +1, but maybe yet sometime into next year, definitely. So
yes, that's it. I think. Yeah, being careful around about Christmas, particularly. Yeah,
and it'll actually be very strange for people as we do begin to get a different normality again, won't it? I can't remember what it was like. You forget what the world was like. You do actually begin to forget what the world was like, don't you? Or I do, anyway.
Yes.
Okay. What you do? And you were traveling last week, weren't you, Alistair? Last week when we spoke to you were about to set off on your ferry.
Yeah. on my voyage, yes, it's so odd to be anywhere different outside of that little small area. So I was off up to Shetland, so up from a tier 2 to a tier 1, and it was fine. Everybody was very safe when we took a lot of, but it was odd being on the ferry because, like, I was in one of the cabins which had 30 pods, and I was the only one there. So no problem there with social distancing.
Where was everybody?
Well, I think they were all in cabins. I think so. I have since found out that there's a reason that well, I don't know how popular they are generally, but they're not that comfy.
No, but you had a good choice of pods for the evening.
At least I had nobody snoring and waking me up.
No, that's right. Yeah,
or vice versa, you know. So it was all right, but probably you know, an actual cabin would be better. But yes, so and heading up again tonight for my second. So that's you know, some really interesting stuff. So that's good.
Yeah.
So what other stuff have we got on? Will I share details about? So we've got a few musical things, haven't we? So if I share this,
we've got quite a lot of musical things coming off in the next over the next week or so, haven't we?
Yes.
A couple of musical things.
This is one of the musical things we've got. As we tried to say to explore the idea of an online music workshop, because before lockdown we did an actual music workshop. Where was that again, Keith? Was that? Can you remember where that was actually held?
Oh, the way back in the in Mono.
Yes, that was it. Yeah. So we're exploring what this could look like online, and as regular listeners will have heard, we've been part of this No Labels, No Walls, which is a sort of international thing with lots of things about citizenship and arts and music and various things like that. And as part of that, obviously, there's been a group called BMix, which is an inclusive group, which we might get them on to talk about their work at some point. And they were doing some inclusive songwriting, and we thought, why don't we join up and try and make a little online music workshop together to go with that. So what we've done is, for next Monday, we're doing this backing track using this thing called Music Maker Jam, which you can download on your phone. So it works on iPhone, it works on Android, and it works on ordinary computers. And the basic thing, and up to 6 different music styles are free. So after that, you would have to pay, but all the ones that we're talking about are free. And so this is going to be an experimental session, just like having a muck about and seeing what sounds we can make to make a back-end track. So we'll do that 4 till 5, and then we'll join the rest of the No Labels, No Walls folk to finish it off between 5 and 6. So
anyone is welcome to come along to that, aren't they, Alistair?
Anyone's welcome. So I've just shared it on the Stay Up Late Scotland page just before we went live. So I haven't had a chance to share it. I'll share it from there to our page too. And we'll send it out to folk. Just to remember as well that the picture, obviously the links in the picture won't work, but I've put in blue above in the actual text the link to the actual document. So when you open that, it opens the PDF, and you can click on for the links. So that's quite interesting. I mean, I'm not very talented at all in a musical department, but I'm looking forward to it. I've had a little play about with it, and it's quite good fun. So the other thing to say about that is that you know, if everybody doesn't have to have it downloaded. We can just have one person sharing it. But if you want to, it'd be good to maybe have a play about with it beforehand. You know, just something else interesting.
Yeah, so I suppose I would just encourage anyone who's interested in that sort of thing just to come along and have a try, because that's what it's about, isn't it, Alistair? Yeah, just trying it out, seeing if it works, making connections with other people. So yes, please, if you're at all interested, come along, have a try. And okay. Yeah. And then the other thing the other music thing we've got coming up is the Christmas special of the Stay Up Late Scotland music sessions live stream, which is going to be this Friday night.
Yes.
First Friday of the month. So first Friday of each month at the moment has been Stay Up Late Scotland music sessions from 9 p.m. on the Stabilities Scotland Facebook page, on the In Control Scotland YouTube channel, and this month we're also broadcasting on the Gig Buddies Coronavirus Fest Facebook page as well. So there's no excuse for missing it this month, is there?
There's not. No, I need to tune in from Shetland.
Yeah, so we're broadcasting 3 different places at the same time, and it's basically pre-recorded music and tracks that people send us in from all over. So we'll definitely have some tracks from the States this time, from Finland, from Scotland, maybe some stuff from England again. And that's what it's going to be, and that's from 9 p.m. But because it's the last one before Christmas, we've also got the opportunity for people to join us just for a really informal social from 8 o'clock before the live stream on Zoom. So both the Zoom link and then the links to the where you can actually see the music session itself from 9 p.m. are on the flyer that's out there, and that flyer's on our Facebooks and Stabilities Scotland Facebook, and we'll do another tweet about it. Yep.
Cool. Okay. Brilliant. Yeah. So that sounds good. And as Jean said, I will share the information on Facebook, but that information about that one is already on our Facebook page. So sorted. Yes.
And then we've got our media session, the media discussion session, which we probably flagged up a little bit last week, but I know we've got more info about that now, haven't we, Alistair?
We have. I'm just going to get that.
Which is the 15th of December, isn't it, that one?
That is the 15th of December. I'm just going to get it up while we're talking. So, yes, the 15th of December. It's just I'll just get it up here. Yeah, so it's again, that's just a bit of a chat about how folk with disabilities are portrayed in the media, how the media can influence sometimes as well some of the more general stereotypes and either positive things or negative things about how folk are viewed. And so this is the flyer here. So this is it's an interactive lunchtime session open to anybody. So we're looking to try and get not just folk from disability points of view as well, but we're interested in getting folk from our broadcasters and journalists and every aspect really. And just look at some short films we've put together. Some of the short films are based around about somebody's employment experience and what expectations folk have around about that, and some general chats around about what people with a disability will often get asked about in terms of do people get asked about ordinary stuff or only about their disability. So just a bit about exploring, avoiding putting people into boxes and how we can move things forward. There's lots of really good stuff happening, but there's always things that we can do even better at.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and again, that's open to anyone, as you say, Alistair, isn't it? Is that information out there?
That information is going out there today.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So anyone who wants to see that will be able to access that from the normal places. Yes. From Facebook, eventually from Twitter as well. So they'll be able to see how to join that. And as you say, it's a lunchtime session. So it's 12 to 1:30 on the 15th? 12
to 1:30 on the 15th.
And it aims to be an opportunity for discussion, doesn't it? As well as
it's a bit of an informal. So we'll watch a couple of just very short films. They're just a few minutes long each. Have a bit of discussion around about it, and then just kind of say, what does this say about it? What's going on? How can we connect together, and how can we keep making sure that everything's as positive as we can be?
Yeah. Okay, that's good. And I know that there's quite a lot happening with the Social Work Scotland groups at the moment, isn't there, Alistair? So there's a lot of work going on with the various Social Work Scotland work streams in order that they produce their recommendations and material to go to COSLA for January. And if anybody's interested in updates about that, please feel free to get in touch, and we'll share what we've been involved in.
Yeah, because we've done the risk enablement stuff, and you've been involved in the worker autonomy and stuff, and
the assessment,
the
assessment
assessment
plan,
works.
the whole range of different work streams. A bewildering array of different work streams. We were involved in a number of them, but not all of them. So
yes.
Yeah.
Cool. All righty. Sounds like a good time for us to have our guest join us.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jay. How are you doing, Jay?
Good morning.
Not too bad. Not too bad. So, this is just our usual. Is what we do is we just have a bit of a chat through of what's going on for you, how lockdown's affecting you, and maybe just a bit of your backstory of because we're hearing about the quite interesting thing about your gym qualification, your gym instructor. Yes. We've even got a video to share, a topless video.
Oh, yeah, maybe we should have done this after 9 o'clock. So my name is Jay Moir. I'm a wheelchair user. I've got cerebral palsy, and recently, I think it was May now. Everything feels the same with this lockdown. I qualified as a gym instructor, so that was a big thing for me, and something that I'm obviously very proud of.
Yeah. Where do you stay, Jay? Where are you? Where are you in Scotland?
I stay in Aberdeen.
Yeah. Yeah, so I bump into Jay regularly at the gym because he's always there. He's an absolute machine for the gym. Twice a day, isn't it?
Well, it's back to once a day now because the
gym is
open.
Yes.
So 5 times a week. Used to be 6, but then I started taking a bit of a rest on the weekends because on the 6th day I was always a bit sore. So I just thought I'll take the 2 days off.
That's important. It's important to rest as well, isn't it? Because you need to, you stress the muscles and then you need to rebuild, isn't it? So how long ago was it that you decided that you thought, you know what, I'm going to go for this gym instructor course?
So I've been going to the gym for 4 years, 3 years I think it is, and then 2 years ago I decided I wanted to sort of, because it had helped me so much, I wanted to pass that on to other people, or at least try to. So that's sort of what made me do that.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. So thinking about how long was the course that you took then? How long did that take you?
It was only supposed to be it's 2 weeks, but a week of practical, then a week of assessments. But because I can't remember what, I was about to sit my exam last year, and then it turned out that I had somehow been sent the old books.
All right,
They'd updated the whatever, so the criteria or whatever. So I had to wait until I got new books, and then it's really silly because the notes I had were exactly the same as the new book, but I had to do it all over again. They wouldn't accept it because it was the old book. So it was a year later than what I expected, but I got it done.
So you're doubly efficient at being a gym instructor now.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you see? Obviously, that lockdowns messed with a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know how people are managing in terms of personal training. I think I've seen a couple of personal trainers in, but I haven't seen much.
I think they're back now. I've actually not started at all yet. I'm just going to wait till after Christmas and then hope to advertise then, because I thought starting now it's a waste of time because folk will just feed their face at Christmas time as you're supposed to do. So I think after Christmas is the better option.
Oh, that's when the demand's there, isn't it? When everybody's like the gym gets packed out. Yeah. So would you see yourself specialising in helping folks that have maybe some mobility issues, or would you be just trying to do it generally?
Yeah, generally, because I think that the principle stays the same in terms of losing weight or gaining weight or whatever. The principle stays the same. So I think it doesn't really matter whether you have a disability or able-bodied. It's kind of, as I say, it's the same thing. So I'd be pretty much open to anything.
So are you gonna try and do that work through the gym that you go to then?
Yeah, well, I was hoping to do online coaching because I thought you know, I'm obviously aware of what I'm able to do, but in terms of me trying to like support someone else, it might be difficult because I still sometimes need like a bit of like assistance in the gym in terms of moving weights and stuff. So I
Mhm.
thought if it was a one-to-one, I would maybe struggle with that. So my best option would be online.
Mhm.
Uh-huh. And is that a new, and the online stuff, is that new skills for you, or were you already good at the online stuff? Because
Um,
obviously we've all got to, over the last whatever 9 months, we've
yeah,
all been doing so much more online, haven't we?
yeah. I think there's a lot more online coaching happening now. I think because of like social media and like
Mhm.
all these sort of fitness people on your Instagrams and your Facebooks and stuff, it has become like a new thing, and a lot
Mhm.
more people are doing it, like selling their plans and stuff. And
Mhm.
that's obviously not the route that I particularly want to go down. But I think in terms of the actual focus on online training, it is a new sort of
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
And I guess one of the things as well is that, especially come January, when everybody's had a bit too much turkey, you know, poker, some people are quite anxious about the idea of a super fit buff trainer that's going to be, not on the same, you know what I mean? And they can feel quite intimidated going to the gym generally
Yeah,
and that stuff. So I think that one of the good things is sometimes is about if people can identify with somebody who's who's ordinary, you know what I mean, and you think is
yeah,
kind of like, here's somebody who's not doesn't isn't an Olympic athlete that I think, and you think, well, this isn't going to be as much pressure. So
yeah.
I think
No, I get what you're
relatable.
saying, especially when I joined the gym. I've never had a personal trainer, but I always thought that like I was quite not intimidated, but like quite scared to approach a PT because I always thought that they were going to turn around and be like, "Oh, you need to look this way, you do this and do that." But as you obviously go to the gym and you find out what works for yourself, and you realize that you know these models that you see in the magazines, they don't look like that all year round, and also
No.
they're paid to look like that, so it's not something that as I say, they're like that all year. So, and I think
Mm.
people don't understand that it's not like a constant thing. Like they'll go on a certain like 3 month diet where they'll totally restrict what they're eating to look like
Yeah.
that, get their photo taken, and then they'll just feed their face.
Yeah. I mean, some of the stuff that they do just before some of these bodybuilding competitions,
Yeah,
particularly, it's really dodgy. It's like,
yeah, yeah.
they really restrict their
I
fluids to
was
the
thinking
point
this
that
the other day, and they actually said that it's weird because normally in competitions you see athletes in their prime, but with
yes,
bodybuilding it's actually athletes at their lowest because they
yeah,
need to restrict their body fat and their intake so much that they're actually in their worst condition come competition time. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I guess you're not in that side of things. You're more about the fit and healthy kind of
yeah,
folk looking after themselves.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's cool. No,
Don't want to
that's
get
good
beat up
stuff.
by Chinese.
Mhm.
No, I know. Well, I think that's you need a balance in life, don't you? You
Yeah,
need to enjoy
yeah,
life a little bit
yeah.
as well.
If that's your field, then fair play. But
No,
I think
absolutely.
people need to understand that it's not for everyone. It doesn't have to be. You
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
So did you qualify in, when did you qualify, Jay? Did you say you qualified in May?
I think it was
Mm-hmm.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. And what were your plans at that point then? So did your plans have to change with all the?
Um. Sorry, the phone's going. I don't know if you can hear it. Um. The
And
my
some
plan
people
was
have
to
their plan.
advertise for online coaching, and then
Yeah.
obviously with lockdown, the gyms were closed, and so I said to my granddad, it was weird. Like all the right things happened at the wrong time. I got all this media attention as well with the Lad Bible and things like that, and millions of
Mm-hmm.
people getting emails from all over the world. But it was different. I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, but it was difficult because I couldn't, capitalize on that. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
sort of keep the momentum going because of the gyms being closed. So all the right
Mm-hmm.
things at the wrong time, but of course I'm still, grateful for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what did that involve? Well, that was like people getting in touch just because they'd heard of your.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot. I think it was. Well, it started with me of a local paper called the Evening Express in Aberdeen. It started with that, and then I think it was the Insider. They got a hold of the story as well, and then it was Daily Mail. Then it was Metro, and then Lad Bible wanted to do a story. So obviously Lad Bible, that's one of the biggest media things in the world. Millions of people saw that. So after it went on there, I got emails from New Zealand, America, Philippines. It was just crazy. But as I say, it was all the right things at kind of the wrong time because I couldn't really capitalize on it. But still a great experience, you know.
Yeah. Well, I suppose you've still got those contacts, so you can always follow them up when you're ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, will we show the video just now then?
Yeah, on you go.
Yeah.
Right, just checking that's sharing properly because sometimes it doesn't share that well. There we go. Yeah, okay, that's good. So that's you. I've left the sound off, but this is you.
My first ever gym session.
Aye, so these are some of the
some of the headlines, and some of you doing some of the exercises, and that's you from the and we'll maybe watch the next one as well, which is you increasing your weight on the sled thing.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So again, really impressive stuff. I mean, do you still get any input from like physios and stuff like that?
No, not really. No, I used to get hard view, but they changed ownership or something, or somebody took it over, and they decided that they didn't have. I think it was like the staff or something to facilitate that. But by that point, I'd been going for so long that I'd managed to get myself in a good position anyway. So I was able to maintain it myself, you know. So it wasn't really that big of a deal, but.
No, but it's interesting. No, because it's sometimes interesting to hear what some people, think about what you've been able to achieve. Because I know sometimes folk can say, "Oh well, don't be unrealistic, don't do this." You know what I mean? Set the goals quite low, and I think it's great to smash it in the park.
I got that all the time, and it was. So I started off, I think I was like 15 stone, and I came down to 9.5. And I was never going to stay at 9.5, but that was just what I came down to. And I always used to get these like health people say that, oh, don't come down that far. You should do this. But for me, it's like I had a goal, and I guess in a way, I am selfish that. When I've got something in my mind, I won't stop until I've got it. And I know that there's obviously like health regulations and things like that, but I knew it was what I wanted to do, and I knew I could do it safely, and obviously I did. So, yeah.
Fabulous. No, that was that. Yeah. Keith, are you going to say something there?
Yeah, I was just going to say. Well, I was just thinking about. I know you're saying about like when you get something in your mind, you go for it. And I was just, what was it? What was the trigger? What was the thing that set you off on? What was the final thing that made you think, oh yeah, I want to do this? And
I remember, I think I've always said this. There was one night I was on my way to my bed, and I just caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I just turned around and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I just thought, I've had enough. And that was, sorry that the tumble dryer's going now. I just thought, that's enough. And I just wanted to change. So it was that night that I saw myself, and I was just embarrassed. And I thought, time to make a change. And I did. I never looked back.
That's ace. That's really good stuff. And I think that for people to see that, I mean, I had an accident 5 years ago with my arm where I got told I would never get the movement back in it, and it's still a bit restricted, but it's functional, and it's great to tell other people that when people say, "Oh, you'll never do this," actually, you might if you persevere.
as good as like the health professionals are, I think sometimes they I'm grateful for everything they do, but I think sometimes they
Yeah.
prefer to look at cost and
Hmm.
I don't want to say they can't be bothered, but they always look to take the easy route, in my opinion. No, they would rather look at how much it would cost to fund the likes of physio rather than the
Yeah.
actual benefit of it. Do you know what I mean? So um, I feel sometimes, if possible, going off your own back is the best thing.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. We've often talked about in terms of self-directed support. We talk about, what does it take to have a good life, and so not always the best way to do that is a servicey way. It's not always lots of professional time and stuff. So things like a gym membership, things like going with your granddad and stuff, like getting a bit of a routine and stuff like that. Some of that's much better
Yeah,
than something else that could cost a lot more. And we've seen that time and time again, where it's what works for you, rather than what the system can necessarily provide, can make such a big difference.
yeah. I think everybody's different, and I think
Yeah,
sometimes people will require a service because of their,
yeah.
their needs. But I think, like myself and others that are that bit more independent and can sort of look after themselves in a way.
Hmm.
It's interesting. I suppose what I'm thinking about is what motivates different people. And everybody needs their own. I think what I think is everybody needs their own whatever personal triggers and personal support that's going to get you to the things that you want. I'm thinking about like I mean I like going out on my bike, but sometimes unless I know that I've got something in the future that I'm looking forward to, I think, I can't be bothered going out today. It's too rainy or whatever, or whatever, for whatever reason. But when I know that I've got something, I'm going away in 3 weeks' time or whatever, I'm fine with it. Yeah. So I'm just trying to think.
Believe this. There's airplanes going over the house now.
Oh, well.
We're not hearing that. We heard the phone, but we didn't hear the tumble dryer of the aeroplanes. You're all right.
What's going on today?
Yeah.
Well,
fair enough. I think especially with me in the gym, like I think people think that you have to, if you go to the gym, it's the case that you have to do an hour of cardio, or you have to do have to be able to lift a certain weight. Even for me, like sometimes I'm only maybe doing 10 kilo, but I'm doing it a lot of volume, so a lot of repetitions, a lot of sets. You don't have to completely tear yourself out every time, and I think that's kind of a misconception that like people see the gym as like it's like a chore. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important to find a balance in which you're working hard, but you also enjoy yourself, and I think that's
yeah.
very important.
No, that's it. Partly I go with my mates, and it's having a bit of a chance to banter, in between times, takes your mind off it, and like you say, that it doesn't have to be hours and hours. They've proven that even 20 minutes of exercise is really good for you, and so sometimes folk think, oh well, I can't spare that amount of time. And then the other thing is that they sometimes just go in and try and do a couple of hours when they haven't done anything, and then of
I
course
think
they're
people
in agony.
attempt to, especially for me, is that I think people attempt to like they join the gym and instantly they think they're expected to make it like a lifestyle and they have to come out looking a certain way and stuff. But like for me, like obviously I want to improve myself and get stronger, but for me, as you say, just like feeling good is the best thing that I take from it anyway. Is obviously it's good when you feel strong, you're getting improving and getting stronger, but for me, it's like, as you say, after even 10 minutes, you're feeling good, you're having a laugh, you're speaking to people. And that's the thing is, I think we need to get out of this idea that the gym is, it's a place of like torture. It's a place to go and improve yourself and just enjoy it. Well, at least in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to ask you about what your longer term plans are then, Jay. I mean, that yeah.
Longer term, I, I've never really been a planner. I always just like to see what happens. But if I was to say anything, I'd like to have coached a few people and helped a few people get themselves in a happier position, a healthier position. And I'd also like to, this is a really long term one, but compete in disabled strongman. And
All
that's
right.
something that I'd be really interested in. Um, so obviously that's a few years down the line, but
Mhm.
you've got to start somewhere. So yeah,
And
I'd say,
you're doing an online degree as well at the moment.
yeah. So yeah, I've actually got the tabs open. I was doing it whilst I was waiting to come on. I'm doing the criminology and psychology at the Open University.
All
So
right.
just to pass the time on the side to do whilst we're in lockdown as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, just keep
that's
yourself
I.
busy, keep yourself
And
busy.
thinking about other things that that you've been involved in your life. I'm just thinking. I mean, when I first met you, it was through Music for You.
Yeah, Ben,
Yeah.
my brother Ben's there just now. Yeah,
Yes. And that's
I
a really
went to
good place.
music for 12 years, and
Hmm.
I took a lot from it, and it really did give me the confidence. And I always say it sort of gave me the push to make me the person I am today. But I say just after 12 years, I just decided that I wanted to go and try new things. And obviously,
Yeah.
as you grow up and you develop, you sort of, you know,
Mm.
um, obtain new interests and things like
Yeah.
that. So just went off in a different path, but total respect to them and grateful
Yeah.
for everything they
Right.
gave me.
So. Do you want to say a little bit about what they do and stuff? Like it's kind of an inclusive, quite a good inclusive music group, isn't it?
Yeah, music for you. So it's a inclusive stage school. I'm trying to remember. I think it's like 40% or 45% of the um, participants have disabilities, and
Yeah.
obviously the rest are able-bodied, and they all come together and they put on shows and they look out for each other and they sing
Hmm.
and do like drama activities and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's really great. I've seen massive improvements in people that
Hmm.
would go and they're shy, they don't speak, and then maybe 3 months down the line they'll be on stage singing themselves and having a good
Yeah.
time. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's really good. It's
Yeah.
really
And
good.
so Debbie and somebody from the Music for You
Yeah.
was on the Children in Need recently as well, I think.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Lauren was on and did
Yeah.
the rickshaw challenge.
Yeah. The rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that as well. I saw that as well. Yeah, yeah. Did you have a particular speciality there, Jay? Were you singing, or were you playing an instrument, or were
Well,
you?
apparently I was a good singer.
Okay.
I'm not too sure of, and please don't ask me to sing because I wouldn't want to embarrass you. But um, no,
We could look up that video on Facebook.
oh no, don't be
No,
playing
no, when I do that one to you.
that. No, look, I still enjoy singing. When my grandparents are out the house and I've got nothing else to do, I'll just start singing my tunes. So it's good. It makes you feel good. I like a wide variety of things and things that I've learned and stuff. And although you don't maybe like I don't go to music for you now, maybe
Yeah.
it still doesn't mean that I don't use the skills that I've learned there.
Oh yes. I mean, I think
So
that's important, isn't it?
yeah, of
It's
course, yeah.
it's each thing, because again, that's something that sometimes happens is folk think, oh, well, because you've gone there, you go there forever, but
Yeah,
everything's got a place in your life, and you've got another focus, but you've
yeah, of
used
course.
those skills.
Yeah,
Um,
of course. Yeah.
we talked a couple of weeks ago about that guy Chris that just was the first person with Down syndrome to complete a full Ironman,
Yeah.
which was hugely impressive.
Yeah.
And so you hear the stories more and more of
Yeah.
Yeah.
folk doing stuff. There was that
Yeah.
guy. There was also that guy with was in the Tough Mudder who was in a wheelchair, and he
Oh
did
yeah.
some of it
Oh,
himself. But
Sean.
folk,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sean. Yeah. 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 I think it's important that I think unfortunately it's not something that's unless you look for it that you're going to find, and it'd be good if it was publicized more because there are quite a few athletes that are in wheelchairs and have disabilities that do accomplish um, good things. You look at so going back to the gym and strongman. You look at Martin. There's a guy called Martin Ty who
hmm
lifted. He's in a wheelchair. And he lifted. I think it's 560 kilos or 550 kilos off the floor. you know. So that's, you know, crazy. And I think it just goes to show that I think, you know, stereotypically we um, imagine people with physical disabilities to be sort of, as like, you know, it's like a symbol of weakness, a wheelchair, you know. But I
Yes.
think for myself, and certainly, you know, as I've just given examples, it's not the case.
No. One of the other things that I've seen a couple of videos. I should have queued them up, but there's one where a guy mounts his wheelchair to a skateboard side on, and
Yeah.
honestly, you can see him. He's absolutely melting it down this road, and he's moving it back and forth. And honestly, it's phenomenal speed. And there's another guy.
If you
Yeah,
want to put thought into something, there's always a way to do it. And of
yeah.
course, it's never going to be completely identical, but there's always a way to put an adaptation on something if you want to find it.
Mm-hmm. There's another
Yeah.
guy that did forward rolls on a skate park ramp in his wheelchair. He did forward flips, and I was like, no way.
But you're giving my ideas. You're giving my ideas. Do
Anyway,
that.
sorry. I mean, we're not saying that everybody has to do extreme stuff, but we're just showing that it's just an example of like not letting it stop you. Sorry, Keith, you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, it's just that thing. It is just that thing about people being able to do extraordinary things that you can't really that you maybe I can't imagine them, but there's somebody somewhere imagining them and planning to do them, isn't there?
Yeah, of course, you know, it is possible. I think, you know, I always say, and I said it in the Lad Bible video as well, you know, I spent a lot of time thinking about, oh, why can't I do this? And, you know, there's kids out playing football and there's kids away on their bikes, and I've got, you know, I'm sitting here and, you know, I can't do certain things. But as I got older, I realized that, you know, there's always somebody worse than yourself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky that I'm able to sit here and speak to you guys and do other things. Whereas there's some people that require care all the time. You know, and as I
Mm-hmm.
say, you know, there's always somebody worse than you. So it's important to think about what you can do and never mind, and don't worry about what you can't. Because if you spend all that time feeling bad, you're just going to get worse. And, you know, it's not going to change. You know, I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and, you know, do somersaults out of bed in the morning, and, you know, and that's just the way it is, you know. So for me, it's important, as I say, to focus on
Mm.
the positives.
And
Yeah.
and that's the thing, isn't it? We often talk about. I mean, some of it's a bit jargony, but we talk about strengths based, or but it's basically that glass half full rather than glass half
Yeah,
empty
yeah,
thing. And sometimes, especially anybody with any kind of disability, um, a lot of the time they've felt growing up, it's been about folk have always talked about what they can't do rather than what they can do.
Mhm.
And we need to make sure that conversation's flipped round about this is what I can do now and what else would I like to do. And we often talk about the importance of dreaming and saying, what is it that would really make a difference to your life, and how close can we get to that?
yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. And again, going back for me, obviously, the only examples I could give are gym based. Is, you know, looking at people lifting a certain weight and thinking, oh, I could never lift that weight. Well, it's like, why not? Because once upon a time, that person was lifting,
Yeah.
you know, only
Mhm.
100 kilos. You know what I mean? They had
Mhm.
to start somewhere, you
Mhm.
know.
Mhm.
So it's important just to realize that, you know, your chapter one might be somebody's chapter 10. You know, everybody's different. Everybody starts at different times, and it doesn't mean to say that you can't catch up or, you know, overtake. You
Mhm.
know, so it's
Mhm.
just important to get yourself into that mindset and you know, just have that bit of belief.
Yeah, not compare yourself to other people. It's your
Yeah,
own journey, because I think that's quite a toxic thing with a lot of
yeah,
social
of course.
media. People have all these perfect ideals, like you were saying about these models, and even that most of that's faked a bit.
Yeah.
You know all these different filters, and
Mhm.
from a certain angle.
Well, I was
Uh,
gonna say, I think you might be using one today, Alistair.
have I?
You got a HD camera there. You're looking very clear.
Am I?
Aye.
I'm usually quite fuzzy, am I, in person?
Oh, well, I
Okay.
don't know what to say on here, but oh well.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that is the essence of our work, isn't it, Alistair? Really, that idea of believing that something better. Well, first of all, believing something's better is possible, and building on the strengths of strengths and dreams of everyone to say, to say that that this how things are now doesn't have to be how things are in the future, and not everything always works, but we have to.
You always make mistakes, but
absolutely,
it's important to make mistakes to learn from that, so that's certainly what I've done. I've done silly things, and I shouldn't have done that, and but you learn from it, and you grow, and you think, right, I won't do that again, so
and that's sometimes you do it again. Sometimes it takes a few goes before you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and it's that's the thing. These are the things that make life, worth living. When you speak to somebody you haven't spoken to in a while, and they say what's been going on, and it's about, life is about learning and trying stuff and experience. There's stuff I've done that I wouldn't necessarily do again, but I'm glad I gave it a go.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's what it's about.
Okay, so we're at the end of our today's live stream. We'll just check if there's any final comments we each want to make. I'll start with you, Alistair, and then I'll come to you, Jay. Just any final comments?
Final comments. Just that. Well, Keith's Feel Good Fridaying again this week. Because I'm in Shetland, and so I'm just. I don't know. I was at the gym last night, so my final thoughts are I don't know. I just following up on all the media stuff and just the music stuff. Hoping that folk will join us for that. But just keeping positive.
Okay. Yeah. And Jay,
just thank you for having me, and I've really enjoyed it. And just remember to focus on what you can and not what you can't. Here we go.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for joining us today. Great to hear your experience and your stories, and really good luck with taking forward those new opportunities to be a trainer with other people and helping them to reach their goals as well. So yeah, I mean, we have got Feel Good Friday this week, and if anybody wants to join, hasn't been before, just get in touch with us. We've got the music session on Friday night and the Stable Scotland Zoom social before that. Then the session on Mondays, you say, Alistair, and then the inclusive media discussion on the 15th. So any of those things, get in touch with us. We will be back next week, won't we? We're not sure who our guest is yet. We'll be back next Wednesday the 9th.
A mystery guest.
Yeah, mystery guest so far. Same time, same place. And then we've got three more before we have a short break for Christmas, and we're going to take a short break after the 23rd of December.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. Festive time. All right. Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.